Welcome to episode 3 of the Local Lab podcast, where we explore the stories that shape our community. In this episode, we shift our focus from individual achievements to the businesses that want to propel talent forward. Introducing Apeiron Clothing, an embodiment of modernity and innovation within the world of golf. Apeiron stands not only as a clothing brand, but as a comprehensive platform encompassing a golf academy and a golf management company. It recognises the potential within the golfing community and is committed to providing unparalleled opportunities to elite players, especially in this area. Rooted in an understanding of today's golfer, Apeiron Clothing thrives on the dynamic nature of the sport and the ever-evolving landscape of fashion and technology. This brand has its finger on the pulse, embracing new technologies to craft garments that seamlessly blend style, comfort and protection. The Apeiron vision is bold and inspiring to ascend to the top of the sport as the premium golf clothing brand in the market. This pursuit isn't just about clothing, it's about also providing a platform for athletes to chase their dreams and to shine on the global stage. A dedicated team works tirelessly to transform this vision into reality, collaborating with partners across the world to bring each garment to life. Join us in this episode as we delve into the ethos, aspirations and innovation that define Apeiron Golf Clothing. From the rolling hills of the golf course to the cutting edge of fashion technology, this is a journey that emphasises the spirit of community, creativity and ambition. So stay tuned for the conversation that sets to tee off new perspectives right here on the Local Lab podcast. So lads, welcome. Hope you like that intro.
Can we have that?
Sends that.
Thanks for having us, Dan.
Yeah, no
Thanks
worries,
for having us.
no
Congrats
worries.
on the podcast as well.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much, and same
Yeah.
to you, the Bogey Boys. Hit it up, please. So, lads, question that I always start with: what was life like for you two growing up, especially in this area?
Do you want to go first, Kev?
Yeah, I'll go first, yeah. Do you know what? Pretty good for me, to be honest, yeah. Mum and dad, decent living, like decent business, put me into like golf, went to Myerscough. Obviously that's where I met Mark. Played golf at Bootle, and then as you do, you go up the ranks a bit, don't you? Join West Lancs, join Formby Hall, and just went from there. Obviously Myerscough was a perfect runway to become a professional golfer if you wear your blinkers and don't drink, which obviously I didn't, because there's an on-site boozer and then there's lots of distractions on campus as well, so failed at golf mainly in that respect, and then went to Australia, come back and then lockdown it, and then we started our podcast. But that's it in a little nutshell sort of thing. You want to go?
Yeah, and similar to Kev, yeah, I come from a very supporting family. Brought up in Walton in Liverpool, still live there to this day, just literally 2 streets down from my parents' house. Married now, 2 kids, literally just had a child on Monday. So he's only a week old, he's pretty brand new. Yeah, and then same journey as Kev, played golf at Bootle Golf Course, got down to a decent standard, playing off 3, went over to Southport and Ainsdale, where I'm still a member now. Went to Myerscough College, done Myerscough for 2 years, then when I was 19, went over to America, done a golf scholarship. That was cut short after 3 terms, 18 months I'd done me meniscus in my knee, so came home. And then from there, just got a full-time job, started working. I did give golf a bit of a crack, but soon realised I wasn't good enough to make it at the levels I wanted to make it at, and it was burning a hole in my pocket. So I thought, I need to knuckle down, and the plan was to just play golf casually, really. So play a bit of golf. Obviously met me missus, who's now my wife. Obviously, as I say, we've got 2 kids. And then when lockdown hit, me and Kev had a conversation. We were just like, how do we get back into this golfing world? Because we really missed it, because we took a back step from golf. So that's where obviously the podcast and the clothing brand was born.
Yeah, so obviously the podcast now has got nearly 10,000 followers.
Yeah, it's done all right.
Doing very well. It's probably one of the main golf ones, especially in this area.
I'd say in this area or in the there's
the
a few
UK
bigger
it's
ones,
doing
but
well,
It's
yeah.
doing very well.
I'd say it's probably the biggest off the back of nothing.
Oh yeah.
Like we're obviously ex-pros or ex-people who've got
YouTubers are mainly
YouTubers or like
doing it
stuff
now,
in
aren't
the golf industry, but like just to
We come from no
golf
platform.
shites essentially.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
basically, yeah. We come from nothing behind us, don't we? Like no golf background, essentially. And we've built that from scratch. So it's been all right. Yeah, we're quite proud of what we've achieved, And I say it doesn't a podcast only a podcast if you've got good guests as well. So shout out to everyone who's helped us out along the way with that as well.
Definitely. So Apeiron Clothing.
Yep.
It's more than just a clothing brand. It's an entire ecosystem.
It is.
When you do a bit of reading about the business itself. Could you elaborate on how the idea of integrating a golf academy and a management company came about?
Yeah, we can really. So again, it goes back to the golf podcast, I suppose. As we mentioned before, we've had a lot of golf guests come on. We started a series on the podcast called The Professional Route. And basically the idea was to inspire the next generation, because me and Kevin had that journey of trying to pursue golf from a professional aspect, and we took the route that we thought we knew to take, but we didn't really have any professionals who could guide us in that way. So the idea behind the podcast was to speak to professionals from all different levels, understand their journey, and hopefully people in our situation at the age of 14, 15 could then be inspired by that and go, okay, I'll take that route because this player did, or I'll know not to do that because this player did and it didn't work out for them. Obviously, they make their own decisions at the end of the day, but that was the whole point behind the professional route and doing that as a podcast. So that's where it all starts from. We got a lot of insight from those players, and we quickly realised we wanted to help people, and that's where the golf management aspect came from. And that also correlates with the academy as well. So being from Walton and being from an area where golf's not the most popular sport, it's obviously football first. The same for me when I was growing up, same for Kev. Both Evertonians, both go the game, got season tickets. So we've always had football first. So we only got into golf through friends and family. It wasn't in school at the time. So we want to try and create the academy, not just for people who want to improve golf, but to get the community invested in the game at an early age and try and bring a generation through our local area.
It's an accessibility thing as well, because obviously football, you can start it for a £5, can't you? Whereas golf, if you really wanted to go at it, you're talking thousands. So then with the academy, and then obviously you can just sign up and learn a full, from chip and putting, all your irons, everything about golf for a cheap price. That was the aim of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, get more people into it. And giving them an equal opportunity, I suppose, It is an expensive sport.
It is, and there's two sides of it. We've got a community side to the academy, and then we've got a commercial side to the academy. Yeah. The commercial side is obviously we'll get a professional and do group coaching sessions where people can pay. They'll get some clothing as part of the package deal as well, so they are part of the Apeiron family as such. But then that's just an opportunity to meet new people. We've ran a couple of sessions so far, and the feedback's been great. People who met on that academy sessions are still in touch today. So, and I think from the golf management aspect as well, when we're doing these interviews, what we found was that a lot of these golfers, when they're turning professional, you're sort of on your own. You've got to find funding from somewhere. You've got to have somebody support you. And, some people are very generous and they will give funding for 12 months, 2 years. What we found was that's generally not enough time. And it's not the people who are funding them's fault. It's just the nature of the beast. If you turn professional as a golfer, you're starting at the bottom unless you're a real raw talent like a Tommy Fleetwood or somebody like that, and you're being picked up by a huge management company. There's a lot of golfers who start from the bottom and they do need 3, 4, 5 years to bed into the game and, learn the craft and then eventually make something of themselves. And sometimes the funding dries up before they get that opportunity. And what we want to do through the golf management, through the Apeiron Athlete Programme, is to try and provide that pool, that fund of money, which will allow those golfers to pursue the dream over a longer period of time.
Yeah.
It's pressure as well, isn't it? Say if someone comes from the golf club and they go, oh, here's 30 grand, I want 10% returns. And it's all of a sudden you're playing on someone else's money then, aren't you? Yeah. Whereas the approach that we want to take is where they're actually playing on money that they've earned through commissions of the clothes sale, so it goes back around. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so you're kind of giving them their money back to what they've kind of earned for the business, which is...
They're incentivised.
It's an incentive, that's the best way to say it. It's an incentive for them to get the clothing out there, but also they know if they get it out there that they're going to have funding to chase the dream.
If Apeiron Clothing sells, more money comes in, they get access to a bigger prize pool for them to use to pursue their own golf career.
The only company I know of, because obviously I'm in the golfing industry, TaylorMade, the ambassador, that's the closest thing I can think of on the spot now, which comes close to supporting professionals. So that's credit to use for even trying to just do that for local lads. And that leads me on to the Northwest has a massive golfing history. You know, it's talent like Tommy Fleetwood, and then even pros which haven't, which is still very good, like you Paul Warens, and we had a couple of lads.
Matthew Jordan last
Matthew
week
Jordan,
playing in the Open. You got Matty Baldwin finishing top 10, one on the DP World Tour. Lee Slattery, Nick Doherty as well. Local lad played at Bootle. He's doing wonders on Sky Sports now.
It's that history. It's how's that influenced you to get Apeiron golf clothing out there? How's it influenced you, all that history?
It's just there's a market straight there for it, isn't there? Like, you see, like Liverpool's like a fashion city, isn't it, as well? So we wanted to bring something. The original like sort of thing that we came up with was clothes that you can like wear on the golf course, that you don't have to go and get changed, because then you can go like straight out or go and do other things in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then having access, just to go back to the podcast as well, like we wanted to show people that like if you're not a professional, there's still other routes that you can take. So we've had like caddies, fitness people, and then everything just interlinks into like the golf industry as a whole. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we're fortunate as well, because in the area that we've got so many amazing golf courses, West Lancs, SNA, Formby, and places like that. They attract players from the northwest, really. I mean, there's members at SNA that come from Wigan, come from Liverpool, come from Manchester. They come from all over to play these golf courses. So we are fortunate in the sense that we've got a really good pool of talent just within our local area that you sort of build relationships with, because you're at the golf course all the time. They know you from the podcast, they know you from the clothing, they want to have conversations with you, and you do meet a lot of good people.
Yeah. So obviously the name is Apeiron.
It is.
Which is a Greek word.
It is.
And it reflects boundless potential.
It does.
That is the definition. If you want to look that up, it's true. Can you share the inspiration behind the name and how you come about using it?
Yeah, so again, like boundless, it's it's never ending, isn't it? It's an ecosystem. Yeah. We are an ecosystem essentially. We are a clothing brand. We're a golf podcast. We are a golf management company. We are a golf academy. We're everything. So what we want to do is each avenue that we have within our brand will loop back into helping the other avenue in some way, shape or form, and that's the boundless potential of the brand. So again, Apeiron fits that name. So that was that's
what it is.
That's what it is, yeah. And obviously we've got the slogan "Greatest in Motion," which Kev.
No, I was gonna say where the actual name came from is, see the way the logo is like the infinity sign almost. Well, the podcast is BB backwards, and then Mark, like instead of putting your thinking cap on, Mark likes to get into his boxies and do his thinking. So he was like,
I was going to mention this.
He drew that and he sent it to me. He's like, just drew that on my bills, And I was like, that is so sick. And I was like, it looks a bit like the infinity sign. The Greek word for like infinity and boundless was Apeiron. And we were like, Apeiron.
I mean, for context, I wasn't sitting on a beach doing this. I was in my house in my bills, but yeah.
As everyone is, don't worry, lads. Yeah. Everyone is rolling around in the pills. But no, when you actually read about the name, it actually makes a really good sense about the business model.
Yeah, it all just fits in nicely.
It just fits in perfect.
I think you'll obviously see a lot of inspirational people across the internet, social media, whatever, and they'll all have a different spin on things. But one of the consistent things that you hear about creating a business is having your ethos, having your slogan, having your name, having your logo design. A lot of work goes into that, which people don't realise who haven't started the brand before. And we were going to call it BB Golf. We were going to call it Plus One Golf. Plus One Collection. We had loads of different ideas going around our heads. We can show you pictures of different logos that we created. And it probably took us a good 3 to 4 months, wasn't it, of constantly thinking about different ways and what we could call it. And then obviously when we got down to thinking and we thought, right, what are we trying to do with this brand? We've got the clothing that we want to bring out, we've got the podcast that we're currently doing, what do we want to do? And that's obviously where we said, infinity, boundless is where we want to go. We don't want any ceiling, we want to just keep going and go as far as we can with it. So that's where the name Apeiron Clothing came from eventually.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
No, it is.
I know, honestly, it makes me sick, right? Thinking if I was ringing up pro shops going, "Hi, it's Kev here from BB Golf." I'm like, ew.
Yeah. And then you go from Apeiron.
Yeah, Kev from Apeiron.
It's unique, innit?
It's got meaning to it as well.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's got a good background story to it.
Yeah.
Obviously the other brands like your TaylorMade and Adidas, they've got so many meanings behind them. But that your meaning as a specific meaning to use, and it's a specific ethos. I mean,
we generally do want to grow the game. I know that gets sprouted out a lot, but that's generally what we want to do.
I think he's doing that already within the local area. You know, you can't, if you follow, you know, your social, which is Apeiron Clothing, you know, the amount of pros that's doing well wearing the product.
Yeah.
You know, Paul Kinnear, Dan Croft, which was the first guest on here.
Yeah. Tim Ford,
you know, Tim
Adam
Ford.
Chapman.
Yeah, you've got so many, you know, good lads who will do good for you.
Jack McPhail's doing very well. Young
Got a challenge, got some starting challenge tour.
Yeah. So and it's like they want to wear it as well. They're buzzing to they tag us in it.
Yeah, they've asked you to wear it. You know, they've asked you for the help because they know it's there. So that's just again credit to you. And you know, staying modern is a massive core for, you know, your company. You want to stay modern because you're two young lads.
Yeah.
You know, brought up in the golf game. So how does the brand, how do you manage, you know, to keep the design of traditional golf within the modern eye of golf? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think...
You know, hoodies for a start, for example.
I was going to say, I think what anybody who's into golf and listen to this podcast will have seen over the last couple of years, you know, the hoodie has become very popular, but I remember... Exactly, same. Yeah, us young lads are, do you know what I mean? But there's people within the golf industry who don't like them, and even younger lads as well, which is fair enough, because golf has always had that tradition of, you know, you wear your pants, you wear your polo shirt, you tuck it in, and you look smart on the golf course, and you represent yourself a certain way. That still should stand, but it shouldn't stop you allowing people wearing shorts, people wearing a hoodie. I think that's what Live Golf has done so well, is, you know, just allowing people just to wear a pair of shorts when playing in tournaments. You know, what's the problem with that? It still looks smart. There's still tailored shorts that look well.
Like last week was a prime example, one of shorts, like people walking around with towels on their head, sweating their heads off.
Yeah, and they have to wear pants. Yeah, I think
just
so.
Throw a pair of shorts
I was thinking, like, you know, this can lead on to discussion about the game of golf. You know, it does need a modernise. You know, I think that's what Live Golf's brought.
I think that's what we're getting as well. Yeah,
I think that, you know, obviously the Saudis have then got in bed with the PGA now, haven't they? So,
well, exactly.
You know,
and I think that's what
I think that's what it's going to bring now, because now they've said there's the schedule come out for next year, and it's said that there's certain events which have been highlighted as significant events now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So every tour member's got to play that significant event now. So that's like a Live. That's kind of what Liv's brought to the game.
No cut, 70 players. Yeah.
You know, you get the. You know, I wasn't even going to intend on speaking on Live, but you know, I can't use it a bit like a Live within the clothing brand. You know, you brought that modern edge to traditional golf clothing, which is, I think it's great.
Yeah.
You know, the stuff that there's you know, I'm fortunate to have a bits of the gear, and you know, and as I said, I know lads who wear it. Everything looks modern.
Yeah.
Doesn't look, but it's a nice modern. It's something you'd want to see as a modern day golfer.
It goes back to that concept Kevin mentioned before of, you know, we wanted people to be able to not just leave the course and go to the pub, but like I've got kids, you know, if you need to finish golfing, your missus wants to meet you at a play centre, you can walk into the play centre, it's still comfortable, and you can still, you know, be there with your kids. You can go to pick them up from school in the top and you wouldn't look out of place. So
like they're like sore thumbs, aren't they, golfers? When you see them like anywhere, you're like, he's played golf today. Whereas like we were hoping to like wear ours and people wouldn't even know if they were like just out for a normal Saturday or they just play golf. Like that was the aim of the game.
Golfers live in golf gear.
Exactly.
Yeah,
they do. You know, I'm always, you know, my missus, she'll always say you're always in golf gear, but it's what you get used to as a golfer. And you know, I think your gear is like that perfect. That fills that gap in that market.
Yeah.
Which is what's been needed for a long time, hasn't it? You know.
It is.
So you know, your vision is to become the #1 golf clothing brand.
Yeah, I mean, why not? You've got to aim for the top, haven't you?
Yeah. So how does that goal align with your commitment to supporting the athletes, and do you think you'll achieve this? You know, because golf clothing is such a saturated market.
It is, yeah.
And you got the brands like, you know, your Druids, or you know, doing them 4 items for like 99 quid. Yeah. You know, if you were starting golf, you'd see that and go, that's not bad. That. So how do you think you're going to get Apeiron to being a top clothing brand? Is what I'm trying to get to.
I suppose, like, Kev taught me this, and he'll kill me for Robin saying, but like a high tide does raise all ships, you know.
He did say he was going to roll
down.
Yeah.
But you know, so you know, as well as much as we're supporting these lads, you know, and they're supporting us through the Apeiron Athlete Programme, it is also a marketing program for us as well, because if they're wearing it, they're performing well, the pictures are going, we can use that to show, look, this is what the brand looks like in a professional environment. So, you know, if these guys do well and perform well, and, you know, they inspire and the next generation or people that they know to wear the same clothing, then that money filters back into the brand, and then that money filters back out to those athletes. So as we mentioned before, you know, in order for us to continue to be successful, we've got to stay current. We've got to, you know, keep bringing out designs that replicate the modern day golfer. You know, unique designs, changes like this, what Kev's wearing now. You know, these are designs that we've created from scratch ourselves. They're a print polo, which you've seen a lot now. You see, obviously, different brands doing different prints. We've gone for a different style where we've printed it differently. I just think that we just need to continue to evolve and adapt to what golf is and what golf continues to be. So as golf changes through like Live or through whatever, you obviously the Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy have got this Monday Night Golf coming out. So, you know, what are those guys going to be wearing when they're there? Are they going to be wearing tracksuits when they do that indoor golf? You don't know. So, you know,
I'd say it'd be Nike if I had to guess. Like,
it's definitely going to be Nike, but it's.
Well, his contract's up next year, isn't it?
Who's?
McIlroy's. Yeah. So let's see.
Well, that's our road in then.
Yeah.
As soon as
Rory, get Rory in.
That'll be the one.
Say how we're going to get to the top. As soon as anyone gets dropped, like Cantley got dropped, it's like, hi, it's Apeiron Clothing. It's got to pick up Apeiron.
Got to be a scouser and wear the gear.
But do you know what? One of the main things, what you just mentioned, Druids there, and exactly what you just said there. Someone starting golf would be like, oh, let's have that. But then, I don't want to badmouth Druids, but when you don't see them on like tours.
No.
So we're on the Clutch Tour, which is obviously lower league. As them players get better, like we're on the Challenge, then we're on the Sunshine, just growing and getting a couple of players, and as they rise with us, then we've got more exposure, we've got more people in different areas, different markets that are going to start buying. Like we noticed all our buying was in Liverpool, and then as soon as we branched out, it's like people from St Helens, people from Hull, people from London. It's getting bigger. So obviously the bigger it gets, it's world domination, isn't it? At the end.
Like you said, it's a market. Like you said, it's just it's a party of marketing.
It
strategy,
is,
yeah. Which is a great strategy.
We're open and honest with the players when we say this. We say, look, all we expect in return for giving you the clothing is that you just support it. Send us the pictures that you get from professional photographers or from the tour that you're playing on. And like Kev said before, you know, we're on the Sunshine Tour now, which is one level down from the DP World Tour, and as co-sanctioned events with the DP World Tour. You know, we've had Adam Chapman playing the Challenge Tour in it this year. That was one of our goals at the beginning of the year. Can we get a player wearing our clothing on the Challenge Tour? And that was a proud moment for us. We had 6 lads playing final open qualifying. One
5
up in
spots,
Scotland.
We come 6th.
Yeah, there was 5 spots. In the open, like. We nearly had the clothing in the open. So this is like how close it is. You know, our strategy, it is to support them through the programme, and we will always filter the money back into the players and support them as they've supported us and bring new players on. And don't get me wrong, we're getting messages all the time off people asking to be part of the programme. That is evidence to us that it's working and good things are being said about it in and around the tours. So obviously we can't support everyone right now because we're a new startup business. Yeah. We only launched in November, but the idea is to have a massive book of players, men, women, children. You know, we've got kids at the age of 8, young Aaron, isn't it? Aaron Edwards, who we're supporting at the moment. He's only 8 years old, playing at Tommy Fleetwood Academy. Yeah. But, you know, we're supporting him because he's a great lad. He meets the values, but he also loves the game. Yeah. So, you know, that's what we want to do. We don't just want to be a men's clothing brand. We want to be a clothing brand for everyone. Yeah.
We're just sponsoring Aaron as well, like the little like seeds that can be planted. Like we give him a couple of tops and a couple of caps, and he was saying to his dad, "Oh my God, Dad, I feel like an athlete. I feel like Messi and Ronaldo. Can't wait till I go to bed and wake up and practice."
Yeah.
Imagine the inspiration that gives.
That'll be a core memory that he'll remember.
Exactly.
You know, we all have them memories which are core to us that we remember. You know, whether like you say, he'll be like, "I remember when I got." The lads from Apeiron said, we'll sponsor you.
That's what I mean. We made him an Apeiron athlete, and like Kev said, he went to bed saying, "Dad, I'm an athlete now, like Messi." And it's like, we didn't even expect that to happen.
That can only do that. He can only go one way now, which is more driven, and go to the top.
Yeah, loves it. Always got the clothing.
But it's good to see that, you know, a lot of golf clubs are failing in this, and that's junior golf.
Yeah,
they're not it's not really being supported anymore. And I'll say I'm not asked. You know, I work within the golf club industry, and you know, I was a junior at a golf club once, you know, 10, 15 years ago, and that from where it was then, which was great, to now, you know, there's only a few golf clubs which are pushing junior golf. You know, I know of only 2 which are doing it, and that kind of leads on to the point where, you know, Tommy Fleetwood Golf Academy is really saving the game.
It's doing wonders, yeah. It's doing wonders, yeah. I say, with Aaron is a member of the Tommy Fleetwood Academy. He's doing well. Obviously, you're seeing all these junior tours. What I think's really good is, you know, since the Golf World Handicap system has come about, and golf's become more like on a level playing field from a handicap perspective, yeah. You know, what we're finding as well is when these kids are starting these junior tours, I don't know if you've seen Bryson DeChambeau the other week talk about, like, when he was trying to shoot 59 off the reds, yeah. So the juniors at that even younger age of 8, 9, 10, they're starting them at tees right at the front, their own tees in the middle of the fairway, which I think is brilliant for golf. You know, trying to get 11, 12, 13-year-olds to play off even the reds is just too much for them. Not all of them, obviously, some of them are really good, but I think that's a really good way to get more juniors not just to play the game but to stay in the game, because they can enjoy it more. They can feel like they're getting a par and a birdie, and on the scorecard they can write a 3 and a 4, and they're not worried about, well, I've got to carry water 200 yards here and I'm on this tee, well, how do I do that? It's I think Tommy Fleetwood Academy is doing wonders, and there's a lot of junior academies that are getting set up off the back of that as well. I know SNA do a lot of junior coaching sessions as well, and they get a lot of young golf members in there now. I think it used to be you can't be a member there till you're, I think, about 10, 11, 12, but they're now letting kids as young as 8, 9 and 10 go in as well. So I think we are going to see...
the game, innit? Like, I don't understand why there's not more emphasis on it.
That's the question we've always asked, isn't it? You know, it's always been the question, you know, why? Why is there not...
Why can't he play,
Why can't he play? You know, what's... It goes back to the old rules of golf, doesn't it? Which, again, you know, I think that's why these new tours coming in are kind of changing that, and, you know...
We are seeing a major shift in golf. We've seen
massive.
We've seen it just
COVID
in the 3
brought
years.
That. I think I definitely spoke about it with Crofty. Says, you know, after COVID, golf was only one of the few things you could really go and do, which you could social distance. We all know that was a load of shite now, like, but, you know, it's back at the time, that's, you know, that's the only thing you could do. So I think a lot of people jumped on playing golf because they just wanted to get out of the house, didn't they? And, you know, go and have a bit of exercise.
That's it.
Which is helped. So innovation, very innovative. I can't say the word innovative.
It's an hard one, that.
It's an hard one. I'm just saying.
I know what you mean, though.
It's inspiring.
What were you trying to say?
I know I'm saying
Innovative.
No, I'm going red now. Stop. How do you? There's so much technology within a garment of clothing.
Yeah.
Which I don't think a lot of people understand. So how do you use the technology to create the best product you can possible?
I think you just don't overcomplicate it, really. I mean, when we talk about technology and fabrics, I think the only time it gets really technical is when you're looking to fully waterproof or windproof something. I think if you're just looking at a general polo shirt, you just want the material to be breathable. You want it to be maybe a 4-way stretch, you know, made ethically. I think they're the key elements, really. I think at the moment where we are as a brand, Kevin, it's like the garments that we're creating, they're just, you know, we haven't gone on the massive technology spurt yet. We've got some key things lined up for when we bring out the more technical garments, but for our garments that are out now, we're just ensuring that it is active wear material, it's comfortable. We're golfers ourselves, we know what golfers like, we know what restriction in a top can do to a golfer. So, you know, we're just ticking those boxes to make sure that, you know, are we picking the right fabrics? Can the fabrics do what we need them to do? When we talk about actual technology within the fabrics and the fibres that they're made from, I think that for us is sort of phase 2 when we start bringing out the winter collection and things like that. Do you agree?
Yeah, but I just say from the hardest thing that goes into the garments that we found is the technical side, not actual technology, but the technical aspects of like making a tech pack. Like we didn't even know what a tech pack was. And like when you read any book on clothing or any sort of person, they're like, have you got your tech pack? And we're like, well, we've got one, but we sort of like just got a t-shirt that we liked and like measured it and like ourselves and like sent it off, and we were like, this absolute cabbage landed on the desk, and we were just like, right, we might have to bring a professional in here. So we ended up finding this lady in Manchester who could do it all, and then what we took to her was embarrassing compared to like the way she changed it all and got all the different, like even like, you know, what's that called, sleeve length and armholes and buttons and widths and just measure, and like there's so many different numbers on it, but then the factory just uses that as a blueprint, and they're just like right bang, and then they can just reel it off.
So easy to make changes as well from that aspect. So that the technical aspect's really complicated, but like, you know, you can't know everything, you know what I mean? No. So we can't be a garment technologist, we can't be a CAD designer.
That's a word, 2 words in a sentence that we didn't know coincided with each other.
So
garment technologist,
you know, so we've rather than us, rather than us try and, you know, wing it as such and try and say, right, let's do everything ourselves to cut costs. We got professionals in to help us and support us on the aspects that we weren't. Like I said before, we are golfers. We know what golf clothing should be. We've got an eye for design. We know what the design should be, but we can't create a tech pack. And we're not going to try, because people spend 10, 15 years trying to perfect that, and we haven't got that time. So we brought key people into the brand who have really helped propel us and get there, because we made a lot of mistakes along the way, but we always promised ourselves that we will not bring clothing to the market that we wouldn't wear ourselves, that wouldn't match at least as a minimum what's already out there, because what's the point?
Yeah, so them collaborations and the partnerships, they're all local. Were they all local? Was the global influence?
So the girl who's our CAD designer, who actually brings our ideas to the page, she's from Crosby, originally moved to Walton, and the lady who's doing the garment technologist, she's Manchester based. So
love that.
Yeah,
you know, it's again, it goes back to the ethos of the business. You know, it's a local. You know, you're helping the local. Not just the local athlete, you're also helping the local, you know, what would you say, garment
technologist. Like, we could have outsourced, you could have easily outsourced that on like Fiverr or something, but then
you could have went on LinkedIn and looked for a golf specialist. I'm sure there's a golf specialist who's you know, stepped away from a brand, and you'd be willing to come and help, but you haven't.
You've got to be careful on influence as well, because it's good getting these people in who
don't have a clue.
Some of them have got a lot of experience and they can influence you down a path that you don't want to go down, and some of them can be quite persuasive. So we've got to be careful that we stick to our roots and stick to our truth and make sure that, you know, Apeiron is Apeiron for a reason, and we always live by that. So
like our designer, we go with like what's in our brain, and then we're like, right, okay, this colour there, this colour there, and we sit and we match it all. Whereas like if you get a bigger designer and they're like got a bit of an ego and like the whole like work's based on design, they'll be like, I think this, and it's like
you're arguing
it's too many, like it becomes not ours then.
Yeah. You want
cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, you want to kind of keep some control.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so what? This is. I've just thought about this question.
Okay.
What do you think is the trend which we're going to be seeing in the next few years, golf wise?
A lot more shorts, a lot more hoodies.
Do you think shorts are going to be allowed in the professional game?
Massive, yeah. Shorts
will be massive. I've got a little thing on that, haven't I? Where, like, I think everything's sport now, innit? Like, you got 3/4 like length thing, but even in the golf, it's like this is like that's probably the same material as that. And then you've got, so everything's like sporty. I think the classic look, cardies and like polos, chinos, that will come back in.
Oh yeah, it will change.
Well, DeChambeau brought a flat cap back in, didn't he?
Exactly.
You know, the last one with
Payne. Back in now.
Yeah, you know, Payne Stewart was the last one you seen with the flat cap.
I don't think we'll ever go to plus fours.
Yeah,
I don't think we'll ever go back to that.
I think they're going off with the floppy disk and that.
But yeah, you know, you look at the
floppy disk.
You've got you know, well, look what Tommy Fleetwood wears from time to time with the cardigan. He's got like a certain look, hasn't he, with his hair? You know, Adam Scott wears a smarter look, and then you've got the real sporty guys like, you know, Xander McIlroy always wearing like sporty attire. So
do we let me idea out the bag here, or do we keep it under
God.
So I come up with this idea, right, of a cardie, but with a hood.
What are you going to call it?
A caddy.
Well, that's an exclusive right there. Make sure we're copywriting that, by the way.
Yeah. So yeah,
that's
like
been
the
on
hoodie
Kev's.
he doesn't like
have you designed it?
Yeah.
And have you made one?
Not yet. He doesn't like it.
I'm just not sold on it yet. But you know, who am I? What do I know? So
I was trying to think, how would you mix the new style with what I think is going to change?
A good point you made there is there's certain golfers who suit certain styles. So Tommy with the long hair, you know, we know Tommy's endorsed with the long hair. You know, he's paid to have the long hair by Nike.
Yeah, he's a brand.
He's a brand. Yeah. So they will have an idea for him for what to wear. You know, same with Uniqlo, which sponsor Adam Scott. They'll have an idea for him to wear because he's the only brand ambassador in the golf game wearing that. So like you said, there is a set, brands will have a set idea of trying to keep, you know, some may want to keep tradition, where some, you know, want to be innovative and really push the sportswear side of it.
With brands like Nike, because they are so big and where it compares differently to us is, you know, they can have a Tommy Fleetwood who will influence that look on millions of people, not thousands, millions, and then they'll have Rory McIlroy who will influence a look on another million people. So their market share is massive. So I think for us, it is trying to be a bit more innovative. What's that word? Yeah, we're all
forward thinking. Let's call it.
This is the word. You know,
let's call it forward thinking.
Let's call the podcast innovative.
Yeah. So I think with Kev's idea there, you know, do you know what?
No, it might be a bomb, but it's like my bomb.
Yeah, would you hold your hands up and go, listen? But I'd see if I was you, I'd be going. You know what? I'm gonna make this just for me. Go to a golf course, and if someone comes up to you or someone says, "What are you wearing?" and you go, "It's a caddy."
Exactly.
You know.
But you know what I think as well. Like we and Kev like back and forth about different colours because on this design it's a half and half, and the top colours. There we had loads of discussions back and forth about it, and we've got one which has got like a peach colour in it, same as this, but a bit of a peach looking, and a different colour blues. And we both said to ourselves, out of the four, that was our least favourite, and that's the one that sold the most.
I love a pink polo, by the way.
Pink polo.
I love a good pink polo.
Yeah, see, we wear blue and black. That's us as people. So our first range that we brought out, it was a black polo, a blue polo, a black hoodie, and a blue half-zip, black and blue caps. Like, we didn't really veer from what we like.
What we know.
So then we started dousing a bit of colour into it now and like breaking away from like just because we wouldn't wear it doesn't mean it won't sell.
I would jump on a pink polo. I think they're so underrated.
We'll get you a pink caddy.
Yeah, it's that'll sponsor the podcast. It's so like you said, it's a big market. Yeah. Even clothing within the world, it's a massive market. You know, we've seen vintage clothing back in the game now.
Yeah,
and I think that will have an influence on what we see within golf. You know, one of the biggest shops in town now is the vintage clothes shop.
Yeah,
which used to be Top Shop, wasn't it? Top Shop now, yeah, it is. Yeah. You know, so there is again someone's seen a market gap in there for it.
It's like loads of things affected as well. Like say, like a cost of living crisis. Obviously, people aren't buying, they're upcycling other things, or they are finding other mad things. Then trends just come out of nowhere, don't they?
Yeah, it is. There's trendsetters, isn't it? You know, and that social media plays.
One thing about the clothing industry, it doesn't sit still.
No,
you've got to constantly be changing, evolving, and be ready to adapt. So
yeah, well, I used to, you know, shoes. You look back on the shoes you've had.
Yeah.
Mad. Like 110s, I think are the only ones which I know which have stayed in.
Yeah,
when I was a kid.
Was time? Do you remember them Fred Perry pumps? Or was that just me?
Fred Converse.
Converse, yeah. You were wearing pumps and Converse all the time, and then it's
never owned a pair of Fred Perry pumps. Like, not gonna lie.
Kev's a wall.
Starting to think you two are.
Class. So the next question kind of touched on what we said, but it's obviously the world, like you said, is a constant change. The fashion sign is constant change. You know, do Apeiron focus on keeping that presence and making sure that the clothes evolving with, you know, what the golfer's fashion is.
You've got to,
because it's a rapid pace.
You've got to. I think we'll always stick to our ethos and our vision, and we'll never change from what we believe in, which is supporting golf, supporting people locally, and obviously, hopefully, one day worldwide. But you know, we're not gonna still start creating polos if polos aren't being worn in the golf industry anymore. You know, you've got to evolve and adapt to what is out there. You know, so we will adapt where we have to, but we'll always stick to our roots.
As well, when you look at like the way Nike and Adidas, they do like drops, obviously summer, winter, and then once that goes past the summer, that polo becomes, it's 2023 sort of gone. Whereas like, be it trying to be ethical and trying to, obviously, which helps us as well, it's keeping something that's in style, not just because it's hot at the minute. You want to keep something that can be classic as well.
Yeah, you know, I'll use Galvin Green as an example. I think, you know, seeing it from within the industry again, they're bringing a lot of quirky designs. You know, their designs are different compared to, you know, your Nike. Your Nike and Adidas are bringing designs in off players. So I know Nike brought out a Brooks Koepka collection, their open collection, which is in a few golf shops. You know, whereas, you know, Galvin are bringing out. This is from an outsider's point of view. It's quite funky when you look at it. You know,
talking about the print polos, the different designs. Yeah,
they're very funky. Yeah, you know, it's very different. So they've obviously got that's how they're kind of keeping up with the pace of the golf. And you know, the general golfer now, you see they wearing very. It's, you know, it's either a nice standard golf outfit or it's very quirky. Yeah, what they wear. Yeah, you know, and again, you know, I think. As a golfer, I try and keep up with the fashion, and I think, you know, you do a great job of. I think what you've done is done a good job of having your own style, if you get what I mean. You know what, the polo, what Kev's wearing. That you don't see that with any other company. That, you know, the lines, you know, that's very, what would you call it? Unique. That's very, you know, Apeiron-esque. Yeah. And I think that's what you're trying to, you know, get. That's the message, innit? You know, that is your message, which is...
It is, yeah, because, you know, if everybody bought out a black polo, what would you buy? Do you know what I mean? What would you know to buy? You know, you've got to... Everybody's different. Like, things that Kev like, I won't like. Things that you like, I will like. Do you know what I mean? And vice versa. You know...
It's a diverse market,
it is, yeah. And you're never going to get two people liking the same thing.
The mad thing about golf fashion as well is, like, your average man who... What he wears on the golf course, he wouldn't be seen dead wearing that anywhere else. Like, they go out in like orange and pink tops,
like the John Daly pants.
John Daly pants and that, like, and he's an accountant who like wouldn't be like straight laced, but he's like expressed himself on the golf course. So that's where them brands tap into that. Whereas like we did think about bringing a mad style out or something crazy like. But then like it's what Mark was like, he brought this rose like with all roses on it, and I was like, would you wear that? Like, no, but like Sean will, won't he?
So looking back at it though, I think that might make it that'll go nice with the caddy. That
it would actually, yeah.
There's going to be some mad outfit coming out here from you two, isn't there? It's going to be mad.
We'll let you design one.
Yeah, nice one, sound. Yeah. Sponsored by the local lad
podcast.
Lad,
yeah.
No, but going back to you two, what's the relationship like? Being such a brand new clothing brand within the golf market, how's the relationship been?
It's like having two beds.
Yeah,
is that?
It is. It is.
That is class.
We're both very needy people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So attention grabbers, aren't we? I think
for each other's attention or for the business's attention.
Everything. I think it's a lot, you know. I think
like because this is how the relationship is. If I have a decent week and I'm posting, I'm doing everything, like I'll just get on him and be like, "You're gonna post? You forgot how to post and that? Like, what's going on with you over there?" Or same as if he's like, "I've been to like 6 meetings. I've done this. I've done that. Where have you been? You've been playing golf again, have you?" And that. So we're on each other's back, but in like a banter way.
Yeah, but it's a productive way. You know,
he does snap sometimes. Like
you're making sure that you're putting. You're trying to put your 110% in the business.
We get the message. Yeah. We know there's a message being delivered behind the banter. Like we do know that.
Because you can tell by like the longer it goes between someone not pulling the weight, and then when the like inevitable like sarcastic comment comes in, the level of snap goes on like how little the other person's done. So if he collars me and I know I've done nothing, like, you'll get flipped on. You know what I mean?
What annoys the life out of me as well. I've not figured out how to do it yet, but he's found a way on WhatsApp where he sends a message, it double ticks, but you can't see that it's red.
Oh, it's on your settings. I'll do that for you.
You do that for me because I can't figure that out. But I know he's read messages and he just doesn't reply to me.
That's bad, that lad.
That is not intentional, like.
No, do you know what? The relationship's good. It's
like,
strong.
He goes, text me something, and I'll go, haha, and then he'll text me like loads of the stuff, and I'll be like, wow. And then he go, very one-wordy today, aren't you? I'm like, oh my God.
I got a proper relationship,
Here's a minute, like...
It's embarrassing, actually, isn't it?
No, but it's good to hear
But it
the
is a
insight.
relationship.
Oh, gotta be.
Like...
Yeah. No, you got to be on each other's case, to be honest. And one thing about us both is we're both hard workers. We've worked since we've left school, do you know what I mean, in one way, shape or another.
What did you do before Apeiron?
So, I've always worked in financial services. Kev works in the property game, so, yeah.
Yeah, I've had loads of different jobs. Got back from Australia, started the property company, and then lumped myself into this.
What is this what you've doing? So obviously you've property company.
Yeah, I still do.
Yeah, you still do it.
Yeah, buy them and like do them up, rent them or sell them.
Do you enjoy this just as much as doing that?
Oh yeah, I hate dust and that, and like wood and splinters and cut hands. You don't even know how it happened and all that.
You have to try a cap on now, don't you?
Yeah, that's it. Like.
No, but you know, obviously we haven't touched on this, but as a brand as a whole, I know we've spoke about the ecosystem. We've got another couple of other things that we're doing with the Fancy Golf League, with the.
So do you want to touch on that?
Yeah, well, that's just you know, as part of the podcast. In addition to interviewing people, me and Kev do a weekly podcast where we talk about golf, the hot topics, all the different golf tournaments, and we keep an eye on obviously the athletes. We discuss them, how they're getting on, and talk about people who've been on the podcast. You know, support people who've supported us. So. What we wanted to do is to get more people involved in the podcast and a bit more interactive is we created a fantasy golf league and that's really done well this past season because we've now got it automated online, so it's behind a paywall on Patreon at the moment. It's £4 a month to play. Little plug here, so if anyone's interested,
free plug.
But yeah, so but what the feedback that we've got from it is that the people who play it are more invested in watching the game, because the way that we've, obviously not going on too long about it, but we basically split the field into 4 different pots based on ability. So pot 4, you get more points, but it's the people who would generally look to miss the cut, but the odd couple do have a good run sometimes. We've never had a pot 4 winner, but you know, if your pot 4 does well, you're in extra points. So
like, you're actually
like a defender you've captained who scores a goal.
Yeah.
You know, you're
like
gonna get more points.
Out, like your Andrew Putmans and your, you know what I mean? Your
Adam Shanks.
Tom Hoagies and that
But again, it gets people into the game.
That's exactly
watching the game.
And
it's such a clever model, that.
Yeah.
Boss that, lad.
I know.
That is such a good, like, you know, because any fancy league, straight away you think footy.
Yeah.
But now the golf, that's like.
Is it? We had 25 people play it this year. It was first year we've done it online, and the point system that we've created, obviously we've tested that over the first 3 years, haven't we? That we've been doing it. It's all been manual on spreadsheets and stuff, but now it's automated online. The point system's working well.
When we were spreadsheeting it.
Spreadsheet, yeah. I didn't touch the spreadsheet once.
Well, you didn't, Kev?
I'm not the spreadsheet guy, he's the spreadsheet guy.
We're starting to bitch now, lads. Come on. Calm down.
That's just the facts.
No, yeah, but that's just obviously a bit of fun that we have, you know, alongside the podcast now that it's automated and people get involved, and it's, you know, like you say, people like to keep an eye on their players, and
it brings the fun side to the game.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people, when you speak, if you don't play the game, they think golf's very serious. Whereas when you get into it, it's not.
No.
Especially when you're starting out. It gets serious when you get better, doesn't it? Like, the starting out, when you just lose
it gets
balls.
serious when you hit that golf shot you want to hit, and then the next shot you knob it.
Yeah.
And then you go, well, I've just hit that. That's when it starts getting serious. But when you're beginning, you just
don't care.
For me, it was Alton Lionel.
Just fresh air, innit?
Just fresh air, innit?
Yeah.
Using Arnold Palmer irons,
Yeah.
Dunlop drivers.
Yeah.
You know,
the good old days.
The good old days.
Golf wasn't so expensive.
No, it wasn't.
Fitter for tailor-made wedges now.
I know, yeah.
Ball fittings and that. Lose it in about a second.
Amen to that.
But then, other golfing brands, like, I think one which stands out for me is what Costco brought in was Kirkland.
Yeah.
They obviously, that is kicked off so much. You know, I working on a golf course. Half the balls I find are Kirkland signatures.
Because they got that soft feel to them, so you feel like you're playing it.
Like
but it's the back to the marketing. They went, it's just like a Titleist Pro V1. And then when you got the likes of like a Rick Shields or, you know, you testing that ball and he goes, oh, it's only half price to a Pro V. Costco went, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bang.
Because ultimately, like you said, you're finding them, you're going to lose them at our level. So you'd rather lose a ball that costs you £1.80 than £3.50, wouldn't you?
But the game, you know, going to a different subject now, how expensive some part of the game is. You know, a brand new driver now, if you want looking for a top retail driver, it's nearly £500.
Yeah.
If you want a proper shaft in it, you're up near £1,000.
Yeah, you know, if you're going to get fitted for a bespoke shaft, it's nearly £1,000. Like,
Joke.
my question to you is, you know, how do you think, as a company within the golfing industry, how do you think that's going to settle itself?
Well, I think you know, there's companies out there like golf clubs for cash. You know, the second-hand golf market is a huge market. I think, you know, people who buy brand new, they generally buy brand new either because they've got the money to, so the wealthy people, or they're so invested in the game that they're at that ability where they just like love everything about, you know, they're just addicted to it.
But they're sold, aren't they? They get sold at an extra 10 yards. So if you bought a TaylorMade driver 20 years ago and you added 10 yards every single time they brought a new driver, you'd be hitting it 15 miles. But you're not.
Yeah.
It's just not real.
It's good marketing.
Oh, of course it is.
It's great marketing,
It
you know,
always
and you know, I think if more people watch golf, you'll see them using that kind of club and go, I want it to like Rory McIlroy or John Rahm or...
Same with the clothing, you're inspired by what your heroes are doing, aren't you? So, you know, if they've got the Stealth 2, you want the Stealth 2. If they're wearing Nike, you want to wear Nike. And again, that goes back to our model on the Apeiron athletes and supporting them. We want to be able to have people wearing our brand who, you know, have got the right ethos that we're looking for, but they'll also inspire people to purchase.
Yeah.
Because like we go back the ecosystem, they purchase off us, it goes back and filters through to them.
You know, I'm wearing a Apeiron because Scousers wear it.
There you go.
In it, yeah. You know, my mate, the lads who I support within the area of Liverpool and, you know, the Northwest, the majority are wearing it.
Yeah.
You know, the lads who you want to follow, you want to support, they're wearing it. So
what you really want is like someone to go, oh my God, Dan Croft's just won the Open there in Apeiron, let's buy loads of that.
we want to see it. I'd love to see a tour pro approaches.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
someone who...
And that will come.
That will come. I want that story to come out where you go...
Joe Brooks, like the lad who plays clutch, he's down in London.
Yeah.
He was with Puma, and then I think Puma like stopped giving him stuff, and he messaged saying like, how do I get my hands on one of these caps? And we were like, well,
Yeah, I'm
send
seeing
you
it
a
about,
full box
Here's a
down
box.
if you want. And then he comes sixth in Open qualifying. There was 5 spots. Like he was close. He comes third, fourth on the clutch every week. He's a heavy player. Like he's going to be on challenge next year, and even if he carries on.
The way he's going, yeah, got a great chance.
So
yeah.
So that's the scope for the business. That is like, that's one of the next stages.
You've got to be relevant and you've got to be present, haven't you?
Yeah.
So like, if our clothes are not seen worn by anyone, nobody's going to buy them.
Yeah.
If it's seen worn by people, you're going to buy them. It's the way it works.
The
So,
social media push is great. As a company, as a startup company, you know, it's everywhere. If you're a golfer within this area, it's such a good model for the social media. You know, whenever I'm on Instagram, it's always popping up. Someone goes, thanks, Apeiron Clothing for my latest batch. Or, you
Sorry
know,
about
Yeah, that's it.
you know, it's good. No, it's good. But it's
taking
like,
up your feed.
no, it's sound like, but it's good. It's what you.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah, we didn't mean this like part of it either, but like even like say someone like bought it and like won a society day, like we post them as if they've won something amazing, like as the way like
It is
the
to them,
Crofty
yeah.
one. No, but like we posted like the regular guys' achievements as well. So it's like they shared it with their friends and like their society, and then you get a message, oh, can the society have this logoed up? And you're like, yeah, of course. So it's like it grows from any sort of picture of the club in anyone's hands.
It's word of mouth, isn't it?
Can get on board. Do you know what I mean?
The word of mouth is such a powerful tool.
It
You
is,
know,
yeah.
and it
Especially when that word's positive as well, which is what we
I've never
found
heard a
out.
negative word about it.
The reception's been good, which makes
Marks
us
and
proud.
someone said, didn't he?
No, Kev's
I
not
could
good. So.
I could have told them that.
What? Yeah, so a lot beyond the clothing.
Yeah.
You seem to, you know, we've touched on the development of the athlete.
Yeah.
Can you share with us a story of, you know, how your platform has impacted the golfers' performance, or, you know, if they won a tournament?
Yeah.
And I was going to say, it's quite a dangerous one, this, because Tim Ford, another fella, and Michael O'Brien, and who else?
We're
There
talking
was
about the
another
hole in
one.
ones.
Yeah, like, it's very dangerous, because if you do buy our clothes, like, you are near enough guaranteed to get a hole in one. So your bank account will be affected if the clubhouse is full. So you just need to watch what day you're wearing.
Make sure you're insured.
So that's how we've impacted Tim Ford's life.
Oh, you've Carrish Green, weren't it?
Carrish Green, yeah.
Carrish
On 18
Green,
as
on
well.
18.
Or you might shoot a course record as well, because Adam Chapman shot a course record in our stuff, so that impacts his life massively.
Or you could win the Leeds Cup.
Yeah, or you could do that.
I know you take a bit of
Credit for that
credit
one,
for
yeah.
that, yeah,
So
straight
I
after
was a
your
psychologist on that
Was you,
podcast, yeah.
Yeah, but that's...
I thought you're a psychologist, are you?
No, I'm a
I
golf
know
club.
you're in us with core memories and all that before. I was thinking, who is this guy?
No, the idea behind the podcast was, you know, I try and delve into people, the backgrounds, how they grew, life growing up influenced them to achieve what they've achieved, and then I want to try and get into what you've had to do to, you know, grind it out. You know, last week's guest, Scott Mealy, he said, you know, if you want to be in that trench, you've got to work in that trench and dig out, keep digging, digging. You know, that mentality. That's what I'm trying. The message I'm trying to get across to people. Yeah, is, you know, you don't get anything in this life for free.
No,
unless you want to go on Love Island and be an absolute bell end.
You know, watch Love Island.
Yeah, so I watched Love Island, but
he's just so disappointed in us.
Says the one from Crosby. No, but yeah, you know, that's an easy way out for me. That, you know, my dad was always ingrained the message, you know, if you want anything in this life, you've got to work. As much as you put into it, you get out of it.
Yeah, we've,
you know, and I that's why I'm trying to get, you know, the likes of you lads on. You know, people who've been successful. You know, Matty behind the cameras. I'm trying to get him on because, you know, I've known Matty since school, and he's done it. His business, how he's got to where he is now, is a great story. And yeah. Matty, I'm going to get you on this podcast.
Do it, Matty.
Do it, because you'll love it.
No, but I think we can see firsthand for ourselves. Like, I wouldn't have been able to go to Myerscough College. I wouldn't have been able to go to America if my mum and dad didn't work their arse off to provide for me, my brother and my sister. So, you know, that inspires anybody. When your parents work hard, you instill that work ethic, don't you? So I think, like, both of us, since we've left school, we've worked because that's what we've been taught to do. So you don't lose that work ethic, whether it's creating your own business, whether it's trying to go from one level in an organisation to another. Everybody's goals and ambitions are different, aren't they? So, you know, as long as you've got the work ethic and you're willing to put the work in, you will get the results. And that's
working for yourself as well is a bit, and something that you've created, like, from, like, you could working in property, like the houses.
Responsibility.
They're not mine, are they? But they're a good source of income. Whereas, like, the clothing, it's ours. Like, it's come from our brain, and we hold it, and then someone likes it and buys it and posts it on social media, winning golf tournaments. It's just a sense of pride, and, like, I want to be making more and doing better. Yeah. You know, like,
and I think going back to the question that you asked originally about, like, can we go to a story of somebody who's won? I think our proudest moment, we've both spoke about this, haven't we, was seeing so many players at West Lancs and people walking around West Lancs of final qualifying wearing the gear and supporting the gear. So we had Jack Brooks, Joe Brooks, Jack McPhail, Paul Kinnear all playing in Apeiron Clothing at final open qualifying, the same field as Sergio Garcia, Matt Wallace, Matt Dowell. They're all there, and for us that was a really proud moment. But not only that, there was Apeiron caps walking the fairways, there was people wearing the hoodies, people wearing the polo. So for us to actually be on the ground,
everyone who bought something wore it that day because it was local and the lads were there, and it's like they were supporting the team. It was like Everton. Like, did
you jaw at the floor? Be like, was it a shock?
It was. I
was like, wow.
It was a, like, take a step back moment and be like, take this in because this is pretty good. This, considering we launched in November. So we actually only started selling at the back end of November, our first sale. You know, to be at June. It was June, wasn't it? Final qualifying, July. And to see that, like, I see people wearing your clothing and people coming over to you, wanting to speak to you and be really interested and saying how good your stuff is. Like, it really was that's probably our proudest moment as a brand.
Just thought of a better one.
Go on.
The fella who brought the claret jug to the first tee at the Open, they were wearing our tops. Yeah. That was a proud moment.
There was a disappointment.
There was a disappointment on the end of it
because he had his waterproof jacket on because the weather was so bad, so you couldn't see it.
The other one did.
So it got on Sky of them doing it and putting it on, but where the way the sky camera was angled, it only had the one guy who had his waterproof jacket on over our clothing. Otherwise,
luckily my mate was in the stand and he took a picture. Is that your top there? And he's like sending it. I was like, yeah, guys, I video that.
Yeah,
boss that.
Like that was a proud moment. Like that's history getting brought out by someone wearing your top. It's like
it is. Yeah, but and at the moment, like, and it'll probably continue to be like this. Everything for us is a proud moment because
even this being on here is a proud moment.
This is our first podcast where we've sat the other side, and this is a proud moment for us,
You can edit that so
proud for me that. I'm made up now. I didn't realise that this is the first time you've been
this interviewed. This the first time we've
interviewees.
This is the first time,
Boss, love that. So looking ahead, what can you tell us as listeners and viewers about any exciting developments or upcoming things we should be looking out for from Apeiron?
We're going to be busy. So aren't we, from a clothing perspective? We've launched Apeiron Kids. Apeiron Women is launching in beginning of September. We've got more winter range coming, and yet we're working on our spring-summer 24 collection, which will have men's, kids and women's clothing. So, yeah, I think for us, it's just a lot more hard work, creating the same thing that we've created in the past, is this ecosystem and just building it brick by brick, really.
It's relationships as well. Obviously, pro shops, we're going to try and get into more of them, which is obviously people can feel it and try it on and you know what I mean? People have walked into Wirral not knowing what the brand is and bought. That's a testament to the product itself. And
how's that gone at Wirral?
Great.
It's flew out, yeah.
Flew out.
Not just saying that, it really has flew out, yeah.
It's funny how it come about because he was like, I haven't really got budget, I haven't got this. And I was like, well, we'll do sale or return. He's like, you know what? I like you, lads. I'll do that. I was like, well, it's in the car, He's like, it's in the car, you cheeky bastard. He's like, well, Alex, you
hustlers.
You knew this was going to happen. But then he put it in and like the first day, I think like 8 or 9 polos went and he's like, wow, I need more.
He done 18 polos in the first week, didn't he?
And we were like buzzing, like it's great.
So yeah, that's a testament to the product, a testament to obviously the shop as well and the members supporting the pro and the shop. But, again, like Kev said there, we've went in, we've had a no on the basis that not because he didn't like it, just because of the timing. We've adapted to that. Obviously, Kev's used his charm and it's in there, and we both benefit from that. Do you know what I mean? The brand benefits from it, he benefits from it, and the customer, more customers are wearing and they're happy with the product. So
yeah, and then it's teams as well. Like we've got Myerscough, like staff wearing it, like Myerscough Golf College. We've got the staff, we've got the 2 different levels of players. We've got the college students. Then just reaching out to other teams and like American colleges or whoever and like making designs like based on them, so then like that's their part of the Apeiron family, like just full on people who are going to be playing against other people in your stuff. That's what the
team element's good. Yeah, it is, isn't it? You got the team element. Yeah, the team stuff. Yeah, there's nothing that we're not going to do. Basically, like like you said, there's no ceiling for us. The possibilities are endless, so we're just going to keep going until people don't want to see it anymore.
What message would you leave for the listeners, especially those who have got a passion for golf or want to get into fashion? What would your advice be?
You haven't got to be great to start, but you've got to start to be great, is what we went with. Just keep trying, keep plugging, keep having a go, feedback, and then adapt, move, and get better.
That's the quote. That just took me quote question out there.
There you go.
There you
It's
go.
got it all, eh?
I thought that was the quote question.
No, it wasn't.
I'll give you another quote if you want to do it.
Go on, give us one more. So a quote that you live by, or has some personal meaning to you.
Fuck it, innit?
I think for us, it's the one I said. It's the one I
That's
said.
the worst that can happen.
The Scousers.
Yeah, fuck it, yeah. You've got to have a go. You have got to have a go. Do you know what I mean? Like we said before, we are creating an ecosystem. We have created an ecosystem, and like Rob and Kev's quote again, a high tide does raise all ships. So we're supporting these guys at the level that they're playing at and trying to give them every opportunity to get to the level that they want to be at. Same with us, we're selling clothes at the level that we're currently at now as a brand. We want to be the best, do you know what I mean? And we will keep striving to be the best. So again, if we can do that, then fantastic, but we will just keep trying.
Boss lads, so any socials that you want to mention? If people want to have a look, what do they follow?
I mean, the 2 main ones are Apeiron Clothing. So on Instagram, it's at Apeiron_clothing. So Apeiron spelled APEIRON _clothing. And then Bogey Boys Pod is the podcast at Bogey Boys Pod. We've also got the Apeiron Athlete page, but you can find that through the other socials. They all interlink. So yeah.
There's a TikTok as well, Bogey Boys Podcast. but that could be switching over. We've got a shop now on there trying to get a few influencers, like, or golf people wearing the clothes and selling it through that avenue as well.
The TikTok market,
He forgets about TikTok, he doesn't really use it.
Boss lads, right. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
cheers, boys.
Thank you very
much. Thank you very much, and good luck to you as well.
Cheers. Nice one, keep it going.
Thank you very much. So, as we close this chapter of this podcast, remember that the essence of the community, ambition, and creativity is alive and well within every corner of this great city. Apeiron Clothing stands as a testament to the power of dedication, collaboration, and the pursuit of excellence. Thank you for joining us on the Local Lab podcast. Don't forget to follow us on all audible apps, TikTok, YouTube, under all one handle at the Local Lab podcast. Until next time, remember that greatness can be found right in our community. Stay inspired, stay curious, and stay tuned to the Local Lab podcast. Thank you.